Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mini Books Podcast with your host Gloria and Rogan, and today we are excited to dive into Special Book with you. We picked this one because it has really important lessons to share and we can't wait to talk about them. So let's get started.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready to dive into something ambitious. Today we're tackling business plans.
The business plan.
The cornerstone of, well, pretty much every business.
We got it. And we're going straight to the source with this one. We're digging into How to Write a Business Plan by Mike McKeever.
The 10th edition, no less.
That's right, the 10th edition, which I think really speaks volumes about how relevant this book still is. I mean, the business world changes so fast, but...
If this book just keeps going, and it's from Nolo.
The legal and business gurus.
Exactly. They've been around, you're not going to believe this, since 1971.
Wow.
And their headquarters, a converted clock factory in Berkeley. Talk about a company that's seen it all, right?
And they really know their stuff.
They do. And McKeever, well, he brings all that experience to this book. So before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's talk about why we even need a business plan in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the fact that every business book tells you to write one, why is it actually important?
It's more than just checking a box, that's for sure.
Right.
McKeever really drives home this point. A business plan brings clarity. You have this amazing idea, you're excited about it, but a plan makes you actually articulate it. What are you offering? Who are you serving? How are you going to make it all happen?
It's like having that incredible cookie recipe in your head, but until you write it down.
It's just a bunch of ingredients.
Exactly. And speaking of ingredients, this clarity is important not just for you, but for anyone you might be working with.
Especially investors.
Oh, absolutely. Because they need to see that you've thought this through, that you have a plan.
They don't just want to hear about your passion. They want to see the path to success.
It's like, okay, you've got the dream, but show me the roadmap.
Exactly. And speaking of roadmap...
Oh, I love that analogy.
McKeever talks about anticipating challenges. Your business plan isn't just about what you want to happen.
It's got to include the what-ifs.
Exactly. What are the potential problems you might encounter? And what's your game plan for dealing with them?
It's like having a fire extinguisher before you start cooking.
You might not need it.
But you're going to be really glad you have it if things get heated.
Exactly. That kind of foresight can be what separates the businesses that thrive from the ones that barely survive.
And I love how he compares the plan to a roadmap, too. You've got your destination in mind, but you also know there might be detours.
Road closures.
Unexpected turns. You need to be prepared to adapt.
And a well-thought-out business plan helps you do just that. It helps you stay nimble and adjust to changing conditions.
Now, before we get into the actual nuts and bolts of building this roadmap, McKeever asks a question that I think is so important.
Yeah.
Are you right for this business?
Ooh, that's a gut check right there.
It is. It's about taking an honest look at yourself.
Strengths and weaknesses.
And not just the kind of weaknesses you put on a resume, you know?
Right.
More like, I'm amazing at networking, but spreadsheets make me break out in hives. Kind of honesty.
Exactly. That kind of self-awareness is crucial because it impacts your ability to manage risk.
If you're honest about your limitations up front.
You can avoid making decisions based on blind optimism.
And hey, maybe you realize you need a partner who can handle those spreadsheets.
Absolutely. Someone who complements your skills and fills in those gaps.
It's about building a team that's set up for success.
Exactly. Recognizing your limitations can be incredibly empowering. It allows you to bring in the right people and resources, setting yourself up for a much smoother journey. And, you know, that whole team aspect, it ties into another key point McKeever makes. The problem statement.
Oh yeah, this is where things get interesting. Instead of just describing your business, you start by defining the problem you're solving.
Right. Don't tell me about your amazing product. Tell me about the problem it solves for the customer.
So it's less, I make the best widgets, and more like, people are struggling with X and my widgets are the answer.
Exactly. It makes your business relatable, it makes it relevant, and it really clicks with investors.
Because they want to see a solution to a real-world problem.
Right. Not just a product in search of a market. He uses a great example, actually. A pizza by the slice place.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does pizza illustrate this?
Well, think about the problem it solves. It's not just about being hungry. It's about needing a quick, affordable, satisfying meal, maybe on the go.
Right, when a burger is too boring, but a sit-down restaurant is too much.
Exactly. And that plays into understanding your target customer, which McKeever talks about a lot.
You got to know who you're serving,
Absolutely. He talks about analyzing your competition, too.
which makes sense, but
Not just from your perspective. You have to see it from the customer's point of view.
oh, that's interesting. So it's not enough to just list your competitors. You have to understand how they're perceived by your target audience.
Right. He uses this example of Antoinette's dress shop. She sells professional clothes for women.
So on the surface, her competition is department stores, boutiques, places like that.
Exactly. But she has to figure out what makes her different in the eyes of those customers. Maybe she offers free alterations.
Oh, smart. For busy women, that's huge.
Right. It's about finding those pain points and going above and beyond. Sorry to interrupt you guys. If you're enjoying this podcast, then don't forget to check out our official YouTube channel, Mini Books Podcast, and subscribe for more great podcasts like this one.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've defined the problem. We know our customers. Now comes the part I think a lot of people dread, financial projections.
Numbers. I know, it can feel intimidating.
But McKeever does a good job of making it approachable. He explains things like break-even analysis in a way that just makes sense.
He's really good at that. One of his examples is this record store, Ronnie's Records. And Ronnie needs to figure out how many records she needs to sell each month to cover her costs. That's her break-even point.
So it's like finding that magic number where you go from just surviving to actually making a profit.
Exactly. And once you know that number, you can make smarter decisions about pricing, marketing, your whole strategy.
And it all goes back to being realistic, right? No magical thinking allowed.
None. Dream big, but base your projections on solid research and reasonable expectations.
Be adaptable, too. Things change, markets shift, your initial assumptions might need adjusting.
Absolutely. It's all about being flexible and responsive. But even with the most thorough business plan, sometimes our own assumptions can trip us up. And McKeever tells this great story about a cafe owner who almost went bankrupt because of this.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, he listened to his son, who had just graduated with an economics degree.
Uh-oh. I have a feeling this isn't going to end well.
It doesn't. The son convinced his dad to cut costs during a slow period, which seems logical enough, right?
Right.
So he took down all this new signage he had just put up.
No, bad move.
And get this, he stopped offering free coffee refills.
Free refills. Gone. That's brutal. I can already see where this is going.
Right. It seems like common sense, cut costs when you're struggling.
Sure.
But it turns out those little extras, the signage, the free refills,
That made a big difference.
a huge difference. People loved those things. It wasn't just about the coffee. It was about the experience, the feeling the cafe created.
It's like that feeling of getting a little something extra, something unexpected.
Exactly. And when those things disappeared, the customers felt it.
They felt like something was missing.
They did, and their loyalty went right out the window with it. The cafe owner was so focused on the bottom line
On what seemed logical on paper.
that he forgot about the emotional connection, the feeling he was creating for his customers.
Which is so important. We can get so caught up in the numbers and the logistics
Absolutely.
that we forget about those human elements that really make a business special.
It's not just about what you sell, it's about the experience you create.
Exactly. So as you're crafting your business plan, think about those details. What are the little things that will make people love your business? What will make them come back for more?
Those are the questions that really matter, and they're not always easy to answer.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
But they're worth wrestling with. And that's what makes this whole process so interesting, right? It's about more than just filling out a template.
It's about bringing your vision to life in a way that resonates with people.
And hopefully making their lives a little bit better, a little bit brighter, one delicious cup of coffee or amazing widget at a time, right?
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
Well, on that note, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored the importance of clarity, of anticipating challenges, of understanding your customers, and the problem you're solving for them.
And don't forget about those little extras.
Right. The things that make your business stand out from the crowd.
The things that make people feel seen and valued.
Exactly. So as you embark on your business planning journey, remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Be kind to yourself, be open to learning and adapting, and most importantly, never lose sight of that spark that ignited this whole adventure in the first place.
To that, I'll cheers.
Cheers to that, and a huge thank you to everyone for joining us on this deep dive into the world of business planning. We'll see you next time for another exciting exploration.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to dive into more book insights and key learnings, Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Mini Books Podcast, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. We're back every Sunday at 9 a.m. with new books and more to learn from. Until next time, take care, keep learning, and keep growing. Remember, this is Mini Books Podcast.